is Ethan Tingler, front tire changer for the 3-car Austin Dillon. You're listening to Back of the Pack podcast on Fantasy Focus. Hell yeah.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to episode number 28 of the Back of the Pack podcast here on Fantasy Focused, brought to you by the Original Hooters in partnership with Monkey Knife Fight. We are post All-Star race from Wednesday night at Bristol. Very entertaining. Love to see it. Chase takes it home. Headed into the O'Reilly Auto Parts 500 at Texas Motor Speedway. How you gents doing?
Doing good. More racing and a quick timeline and a quick turnaround. Excited for it. We're going to a fast track down in Texas, so a lot to look forward to.
Yeah, I really did enjoy the Open as well as the All-Star race. I liked it. I mean, I like when they have those breaks there and with the stages split out. It just keeps everything on a basically even playing field. I like the way it turned out. Freeman, I saw you had tweeted something interesting that caught my eye, though, regarding the underbelly lighting on it, and how instead of based on, car make, having each color signify a place. That makes a lot more sense to me, and I think that could be something really cool for night.
I agree. I think I like the aesthetic appeal of the underglow. What's going to be challenging is to have it visible in daylight, but what you can do is there's a number of ways to go about that. The idea originates from IMSA. And IMSA drives everything from the Daytona prototypes to all different kinds of GTs, and it's different classes, so it's hard to keep track of positions on the surface. So they have LED lights that present a number, and each number is a position, but there's multiple first place drivers, and color dictates class. So there's 4 first place drivers and there's an overall winner, but each individual class leader is designated by a color and a number. So I think there's ways to use it, and I think there's ways to make NASCAR smarter, not only in the technology utilization, but just optimizing all these areas of the sport.
Yeah, I think that's really interesting, and I like the lighting underneath. I think it looks cool. It gives it a different feel to it. I felt like really energized watching the race. I mean, besides the fact that we were at Bristol and it was an all-star race on short track racing, I loved it. It was very entertaining. But yeah, I think if they implemented that on at least on nighttime racing in NASCAR, I think it would be so cool. But
agreed.
I mean, even the All-Star Open, like you said, Bucky, that was awesome. I mean, it was also really entertaining. We pretty much called the Open spot on in terms of winning stages and winning the race. We weren't so great in terms of picking a winner for the actual All-Star race, but we did all right on DFS.
Yeah, definitely. And we as a group have found our sweet spot in these rapid fires. The more or less kind of have been a toss up, but these rapid fires, 3 of 4s, 2 of 2s, and 4 of 4s have really been beneficial for us over the past few weeks. So we found our sweet spot. We'll keep honing in on it.
What did you guys think of Chase taking it home there? First off, that car that he's driving is ugly as hell. I mean,
what a lame sponsor for Chase Elliott. The most popular driver in the sport has a uniform cleaning service as a sponsor. Come on,
right? I mean, like, if
break out an Under Armour car, like give me something cool.
Yeah, I mean, come on, Hooters. If you're gonna blow your budget for the year on racing, why not do it at Bristol under the lights for the All-Star race instead of this shirt cleaning service or whatever it was? I mean, but we should have seen Chase coming, man. He was right up there with Denny and Harvick earlier in the year, in terms of, like, to me, the best driver in the world. Like, yep. I think you could argue that Chase was right there with Harvick and Denny of today, right?
Yeah, I think Chase is having a bit of a resurgence. You look back at the schedule, where Chase has flourished is when they have a lot of racing in a short period of time. He finds his groove better. Maybe he performs under the pressure better, or just a quick turnaround. But when they race on Sunday, Wednesday, you see Chase having more consistency. Again, he's a young dude. He has fractions of amount of time in the seat compared to the Harvicks and Hamlins of the world, even though he has had thousands of hours behind the wheel. So I think that just him having more comfortability with this car, again, he's only been in the series for a few years, that is visible. Even with a lot of other drivers too. So when we see these multi-race a week events, it's clear it benefits some of the drivers specifically.
Yeah, it was good to see Chase come out with the win there. I know Levy was itching for it there, and I, for one, appreciate a good shirt cleaning service, especially with large supply and demand type of situation here for large organizations that consistently need to make sure that everything is COVID free and clean as a whistle.
I got you. Hey, everyone needs a clean shirt, right?
Yeah, just don't talk to me on like my second Wednesday after a laundry run.
Pitting out.
I think I wore this Sunday, by the way.
That's amazing, Buck.
And to kind of bookend the Chase story here, he walks away with $1.1 million. So the All-Star race since early 2000s, the prize has been $1 million. I remember 01 or 02, I think Newman won it and was like 750,000, so $750,000. And even Darrell Waltrip, when they won the first one, the prize was 200,000. So
does he steal his dad's nickname? Do we call him $1 Million Chase now?
Millie Chase. We got to give him something a little bit fresher, like Millie L or like Millie Chase. But $1 Million Bill is a little bit too old school for our young gun Chase here.
Yeah, chase that Millie.
Yeah, there we go. Chasing a Millie.
There it is. Chasing Millie. I love it.
Millie
so,
Chase.
Shout out to Almirola, Byron, and Benedetto, though. I mean, like I said, we pretty much called that. It was almost too easy. We should have played more on the.
Almirola had a car that was capable of winning the fucking All-Star race, man.
Right.
Almirola is coming up the field. He is climbing the odds charts. He's starting on the pole again. He has a horseshoe stuck up his ass because he gets so many pole drawings. Like Indy, Kentucky, man. He's starting top 3 every weekend. He needs to capitalize on one of these starts.
Yeah, and if his car has the juice that it showed at the beginning of that Open, I have a good feeling about Eric Almirola in this.
Yep, and a lot of these, the Kentucky where Almirola, Custer, Harvick all finished in the top few. This track has similar tendencies from a momentum and a drive-off perspective. It's a very fast track. It's important to get that jump and that start like Harvick and SHR have been doing out of the gate. They're really really tuning their cars to have good short speed runs,
right?
And that's benefiting them in the long run because they're establishing that distance. So if they can continue that what they've been doing in the past few weeks, I think it'll continue to show here at Texas.
So you say it's a fast track, Texas Motor Speedway. What does that exactly mean? Like, what give us is it the conditions of the track? Like, what makes a fast track?
Yeah, so it's a fast track for a couple of reasons. So one is because of the limitations they put on the package, right? So they continue to pull back the horsepower, increase the downforce, and what that does is it gives the driver more control. But it's still a very fast track. So right now, when I say fast track, what I'm meaning is it's a very slick condition. These are very wide, high bank turns, so you use a lot less brakes. So the person who can carry the most speed, the Harvicks of the world who know how to roll the corners, if you will, are the ones who are going to succeed. And again, I think him and Hamlin are the ones who do it the best in the world. And Harvick has just been able to overflow his knowledge into his teammates who are extremely receptive to his success and have been rising with those tides that we've been saying over the past few weeks.
Hamsteak, I know you've got some experience virtually on this track as well.
Yeah, Hamsteak has won on the Xfinity Series there a couple of times. As Freeman alluded to, it is a fast track. Turns rather simple. The only places where it is right there by the finish line, it tightens up.
The double dog leg, man, that kink is rough.
It's a double kink, and trying to hit that right angle to glide in past the finish line. It can be a little bit tricky, but once you find it, you're able to cruise into the wide angle for the first turn. And for the most part, it's a straightforward racetrack. What I always use as my visual directive is once I see that press box that hangs at the beginning of that first turn.
After you come out of that second kink.
Yep, that's where you ease up a little bit and just make sure you get your angle just right. Hit the gas as soon as you hit that little press box overhang. Bang!
Yep.
You hit that first turn, pick up speed. It's all over from there, boys.
Yeah, and remember when we were talking before Corona hit, pre-Atlanta, we were talking a lot about how Harvick was the creme de la creme at Atlanta. And what made him so good there is his ability to have those markers or those indicators that give him the opportunity to use less brake and roll through the center. So that term roll through the center, we can dive into that. But what it means on the surface is he is able to carry more momentum to the middle of the corner while off the brake. So he lets off the gas a lot sooner, uses a lot less brake, and carries that momentum into the turn so he can get to the gas much quicker and have more throttle to the straightaways to carry more momentum. So he just has mastered that. What has closed that gap is all the driver's telemetry data being available for viewing. So up until the last few years ago, Levy and I talked about this in the first few podcasts, what was so unique about NASCAR is you could not track your competitors' data on the track. It was illegal. So now you can have a heads-up display of every other driver in the field, where they're throttling, where they're braking, what angle they're using, what degree of steering they're putting into the car. And that's helped others kind of come together. And it also has helped Harvick share his knowledge with his teammates. So I think he still has the upper hand here, as does SHR when it comes to the field.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of the upper hand here, obviously Vegas agrees with you too, and his history at this track speaks for itself, but he's an overwhelming favorite here. We talk about favorites and odds on every episode briefly for you gamblers out there, mainly on race winners, but Harvick, normally, if you're like a dominant favorite in NASCAR, you're like plus 400 to win the race, and that's still pretty good odds. You put down $100, you win 400, right? He is plus 275 this weekend at Texas Motor Speedway.
Minus 125 for a top three.
That's insane. Like, we always say Harvick lately, especially, he's got tons of momentum and his car looks like it's shot out of a damn cannon. So it should play well into Texas. For reference point, the next two best odds are Kyle Busch and Denny Hamlin at plus 600.
Yeah, and then it drops off a cliff, goes to Elliott at 8, Blaney at 9, and then everyone else at 1,000 or more. So there's some true favorites here. But if we look back at the beginning of the year at these odds, this is what spelled disaster for Kyle Busch. He was at plus 2, plus 300 to win races, and he was, he wasn't even paying double for top 3 finishes, and then he just has, share brick. Like, Kyle Busch needs some juju here because he's been falling a lot. He's climbed the odds chart a bit this week, but I hope Harvick doesn't have a similar outcome to Busch once he got such favorable odds.
One thing I'm looking forward to is just the murderer's row of delicious eats outside of Texas Motor Speedway. I'm just looking at it right now on the map. You got Raising Cane's chicken fingers, you got Chick-fil-A, Panda Express, an In-N-Out burger, all a murderer's row, and then Popeyes across the street. My God.
Bucky over here, the Darren Ravel of the NASCAR food scene.
And you know what? You could, if you're feeling you want that very authentic Italian flavor, Olive Garden right down the street.
Oh, breadsticks, baby.
But yeah, I mean, I'm just impressed looking at the amount of options.
You think the options outside the track are crazy. You wait until post-corona inside the track. These guys go all out with all kinds of specialty, heart-stopping, 8x caloric intake snacks, man. So I'm excited to get some of those fatty foods in my belly once we get out of COVID.
So Evie and I have a buddy that's going to the race this weekend.
Oh,
I was gonna say, we didn't even talk about that. There was fans at the All-Star race for the first time.
Yeah.
And apparently in Texas, they're allowing a limited number of fans as well. Love to see that, in terms of
it was
morale.
Weird. It was weird to hear the fans in Bristol. So it was great, of course. So the story was they released about 30,000 tickets a couple of weeks before. Estimates are about 20,000 people attended. They thought about 25,000 tickets sold, but it was unofficially the largest sporting event / gathering since the pandemic started. So over the next week or so, I'm sure we'll hear a lot of stuff about what the positive or negative implications of that event were from a COVID perspective. But it seemed like there was a lot of distancing in the stands until the end, like right at the end when Chase was celebrating. Everyone was on the fence, and I was like, oh man, Twitter's gonna go bonkers over this with all these hardos about masks and all this stuff. So they definitely got their feelings hurt, but I think that in the end it was a great success, and it'll be great to see additional tracks replicate the success of distancing and continue to be safer and safer while allowing fans to return.
Yeah, I did notice though, it seemed like they were younger folks up on the fence without masks on, kids for the most part. So I'm not buying into any sort of, I don't think it was detrimental.
I hope not. And again, I don't buy into that. I think that it's great to see, that the fans are there and a little bit more action. And when it comes to the fans, I saw some articles too about people booing Bubba Wallace, and we heard drivers being booed by fans, especially Kyle Busch. Like, people are back in the stands and sharing how they feel. So here we are.
Speaking of Bubba, I really enjoyed the fact that, he was real salty after he got wrecked in the Open.
Very.
He
Rightfully
should have
so. Rightfully so.
Yeah, but he made some questionable comments about.
He called him a joke.
Yeah, that was good, man. I enjoyed that. That was good TV.
So, and also to add to the fire here, he puts his bumper, his front nose cover on Michael McDowell's trailer after the race. And this morning, Michael McDowell's team tweeted or Instagrammed a picture of it and said, "Stay tuned for ways to acquire this piece of something." So they're going to probably sell Bubba's nose cone or nose piece and donate it to something or another, but they're going to make something good of it.
I liked his comments. I mean, he's talking about he'll probably, mention God and
God fearing text.
Yeah.
Yeah, that stirred some pots on the Twitterville. But I think that what Bubba exemplified was that perfect area between what NASCAR is and what WWE is, and it wasn't scripted, but it was a little bit kind of
over the top.
Yeah, he kind of he played it up a bit, but it wasn't. Right. It wasn't scripted before. So I think that we need some more of that. I like that action.
That's interesting you say that. We've also got a buddy that's a conspiracy theorist, says that NASCAR is WWE. But I do want to make another comment on Bubba. For all the attention that he's bringing in and doing things like that, it's good. It's all good for the sport, right? Yeah. But you better get to winning, sir. Like, put your money where your mouth is and start finishing in the top 3, top 5, top 10 more consistently. Go get your first win. That's what NASCAR needs you to do. So stop running your mouth and just get out there and win.
And this is a springboard too. He's leveraging all this media into new sponsorships. He just signed a multi-year deal with Cash App. They're going to have that green machine out on the track in, I don't know if it's this week or in the coming weeks, but new money for Richard Petty Motorsports is huge. Even though Richard Petty is a very well-known name in the sport, who was the one of the founding fathers of modern day NASCAR. He doesn't have the ability to run and fund a team by himself. It takes millions of dollars, if not $1 million a weekend, to fund a competitive team. So, he has leveraged Bubba's recent publicity into more and more sponsorship and more money. And I think that'll show very quickly here with his finishing positions.
For sure. I'm definitely rooting for Bubba. I want to see him win. I'm just saying he needs to win. Like, back it up now. Like, he's good for the sport. He's going to bring a lot of attention, but I want to see him win because it's even better for the sport. If he can go out there
it'll only increase that timeline. And I think you're 1,000,000% right.
For sure. All right. So shall we get into the monkey knife fight picks? I know you got some, you went a little different here, Freeman. You've got Xfinity picks for the crowd today. I'm loving this.
We had a good weekend in the All-Star race on monkey knife fight. So I just decided to throw a couple of bets on an Xfinity to mix it up. Kyle Busch is going to be on the track tomorrow. He's looking for his first win in the longest time ever. So I think he's going to be a hungry driver.
Freeman, why don't you share your screen?
Ooh,
we need to mix the mojo up.
I'll share my screen, and should I show the results? Because I've already picked those. The ones that I screenshot, I already picked them, so we can't go through them to pick.
Okay. I can pull mine up. I got it ready, and then we can just go through.
Yeah, because those competitions have already been picked on mine, and I can't pick them again unless we want to show.
Gotcha. Yep. All right. So let's see. First up, who did you have here? You had Busch and.
It's these are all rapid fires.
Rapid fire.
Yep. So I have that one. Yep. So for this rapid fire specifically, I went with Busch over Briscoe, even though Briscoe's a 1.5 point favorite. Again, Busch is starting middle, back of the pack. But it's Kyle Busch. He hasn't won in a while. I think he's going to charge here. Briscoe is, on a roll here of recent, been having a number of strong finishes. But I think Kyle Busch is here to play ball.
Do you think he races in a race? I know Busch has done this historically a lot anyway, but I feel like it's been a bit since he's raced in the Xfinity series. Is he doing this to get his mojo back, just to go dominate the kids so he can get some mojo for Sunday?
In the past, I would have said yes, man, but the competition has tightened so much in Xfinity. I don't know who's found what or who's drinking what kind of water, but Kyle Busch isn't lapping the whole field anymore. And maybe that's because of the COVID situation where he's not able to get as much time in these different vehicles and differentiate between their styles of driving. But I think the more that Busch races, the better he will be. He needs to find his mojo again, and if that includes getting behind a truck Xfinity car, or trucks, seat, go for it, because he's definitely been suffering the past few weeks.
Fair enough. All right, who we got in the second column there?
So we have Cedric and Gregson. So these are, again, two up-and-comers. Gregson actually was involved in a fight with Harrison Burton last weekend. So both those guys are going to have a little bit of a fire under their seats. I think Gregson with a 1.5-point favorite is my pick here over Cedric.
Can we, for a moment, just talk about the name of this? My Bariatric Solutions.
Where do you see that?
That's the name of the race.
Oh, dude,
There's
NASCAR.
never been a light bulb moment. It was this morning at Publix when I stepped on the scale and I started thinking about some bariatric solutions myself.
Well, they're playing to the demographic here, I believe.
Oh man, that's good.
Especially
right in the heart of
Texas. You were talking a lot about that fast food out front, so I bet they have ads along the same lines too.
Yeah, right outside of each one of those establishments.
Love it. All right, who you got in the last column there? You got Chastain or Allgaier? Is that how you say it?
Allgaier. Yeah.
Allgaier.
So first and foremost, Monkey Knife Fight needs to update these pictures. Homie looks like he just graduated from high school and went to his, senior prom. I have Allgaier here at a 1.5-point favorite. Chastain, someone that we always talk about, who's always kind of been around in the trucks in the Xfinity series, but Allgaier at a 1.5-point favorite in a junior motorsports machine. I think the consistency is on their side, and that's someone I'm favoriting in this matchup.
All right, love it. As you can see, I'm balling on a budget again for my Monkey Knife Fight account. Tried to dabble in the UFC world on Saturday night. Did not go well. So, balling on a budget with your picks, Freeman.
I love it. You wanna hop and skip over to Cup where we can dive into a bit more?
Yeah, let's do it. I will jump into Cup now.
So just the one pick for Xfinity?
What'd you say?
Well, just the one pick for Xfinity?
I picked a couple. I can, as far as other picks, I'm similar on other rapid fires, but I stuck with rapid fires on the Xfinity. The other matchup was Busch and Briscoe. I picked Busch, even though Briscoe is a 1.5-point favorite, and I picked Cedric over Gregson to hedge that 3-for-3 rapid fire.
Okay. Love that. And then you had one more Allgaier, right?
Other one was Allgaier. I have Allgaier over Chastain again, much like that 3-for-3 rapid fire. And then we had a new matchup between Burton and Jones. I picked Harrison Burton. Again, him and Gregson got into some altercations at the last event. I think both those guys will be gunning for a win. So I have Burton over Jones, even though Jones is a 1.5-point favorite.
Love it. All right. So on to rapid fire now on Cup Series, right? We're going to go Cup Series.
Yep.
All right, cool. Here we go.
And I see Briscoe in the Cup lineup. I was not aware that he was even starting. Let me check the.
Yeah, I was a little confused by that.
That may be an error. So we want to get our bets in here. I got him quick in because I don't even think Briscoe's in the race on Sunday. And if he is, I don't know. I did not expect that.
Okay. So we got. Go ahead.
Yeah, but which one you got in front of you here? This is the second one on the screenshot. So Harvick, Busch, and Hamlin, Truex, right?
Harvick, Busch, Truex, Hamlin. Yep, you got it. Go ahead. Who you got?
Oh, this was a hard one for me because I think just based on kind of the tendencies, someone has to be falling and someone has to be rising. Of Harvick and Hamlin, which one of them are going to be falling more compared to Busch and Truex? Because these, this could be the final four come into the year, but I think two of these guys are going to continue to prevail. I'm unsure if it's going to be Harvick and Hamlin. But for this weekend, I'm going to stick to my guns. I have Harvick over Busch, even though Busch is a favorite, and Hamlin over Truex, again, with a half-point favorite. What do you think about that, Bucky?
I like that pick. It's hard to bet against Harvick or Hamlin. Truex can always sprint. Busch just seems to be lollygagging a little bit. So I like the Harvick pick more than the Hamlin pick. Truex and his pure speed concerns me a bit.
Bucky, you've just been hating on Denny for some reason lately.
It's just, my stance on him. I don't like him.
Simple as that.
Yeah, I have a particular nickname that I won't use here. I'm gonna go Truex there.
All right, let's mix it up on this 3 for 3 then.
Yeah,
because I did the exact same thing. When we have Harvick and Busch here, I'm still sticking to Harvick. Even though Busch is racing on Saturday, going to have a little bit of extra experience under his belt at the same track, understand the conditions. I just don't see it. I think Hamlin is by far the best in that stable. Truex behind him, and Kyle Busch is somewhere after that. Stick with Harvick here, and then we're going to mix it up to hedge our bets on the other one. We'll go a little bit of Truex action, and then Briscoe and Blaney. I mean, I don't even Briscoe's not in the starting lineup. This could be some database error. I'm going to go with Blaney here because he's actually in the starting lineup.
Yeah, I'm getting that in now. So if you're watching this soon, oh man, wow, look at that. That's embarrassing. I only had $5 left in my account. But yeah, so if that is a mistake, get it in as fast as you can, correct?
Yeah, unless there's some kind of, I haven't seen any errors in the past, like respond in any negative ways. So that it seems like they've always worked them out and it's benefited the better. So if they catch the error closer to the race, hopefully we'll still be able to lock our bets in.
All right. And here's the last one you got. You've got this is interesting. Same situation: Blaney versus Briscoe and Logano versus Keselowski.
Yep. Blaney, easy peasy. And then Logano and Keselowski, they just kind of been hanging around. They've been kind of quiet to me over the past few weeks, especially in the All-Star race. I'm going to go with Kes here just because of the 1.5 point differential. And last week we in the All-Star race saw that happen. Harvick beat out Hamlin by 0.5 point because of a couple laps led between these top runners. That's a big difference, especially when they're on the same team with similar equipment.
Any additional thoughts, Buck?
No, I love that.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, if I've got, plus 1.5, I agree with you there. Keselowski and Logano have both been kind of like meh, So,
and again, those are two. Go ahead.
They've been solid, but they're just not shining.
Yeah. They're staying where they need to finish to maintain their position. But again, when we talk about risers and fallers in NASCAR, people are always rising and falling. No one's ever staying where they are. So everyone's always on the move up or down that chart. And I think, Keselowski, maybe someone who's climbing, with Logano potentially being someone who's falling. So it'll be unique over the next few weeks here. We're in the heart of the summer. A couple of big races coming up to see how some of these drivers handle the next few weeks and how they shake out in points. Because one thing that's kind of been swept under the rug is points, right? We have a playoff system in NASCAR. So the last 10 races dictate a lot of the results. So you're pretty much racing to get into the playoffs. But right now, with no qualifying, points are extremely important because if you're in the top 12, top 16, you have a more favorable starting position. Right. So what we've seen is drivers like the Benedetto break that threshold, and he's starting up front consistently, while drivers like Jimmy Johnson and Boyer are flirting with that line and coming and going and potentially starting in the 20s compared to the teens. So, a lot to think of when it comes to how important consistent finishes are when it comes to strong starting positions, because we know people win from the top 10 a lot more than they do outside of it. So it's important to keep in mind the importance of these consistent finishes and points.
Love it, man. All right, just to recap, we're sticking with rapid fire. We've been good on rapid fire lately on Monkey Knife Fight DFS picks. So I'll run through them real quick if you're just tuning in here late. Harvick versus Busch. We're gonna take Harvick plus 0.5 over Busch. This is a three times. You need to get 3 out of 3 here. Truex over Hamlin. We're gonna take Truex plus the 0.5 point in this one because we take Hamlin over Truex in the 2 for 2. And then the last one, we're going to go Blaney over Briscoe plus 1.5. If you're listening to this today on Friday, make sure you get that pick in soon before Blaney Briscoe disappears. We've got Harvick versus Busch. This is a 2 for 2. So we're going to take Harvick again there. We feel pretty confident about that. And we're going to take Hamlin over Truex. And then the last 2 for 2, we're going to take Blaney plus 1.5 over Briscoe and Kez over Logano plus 1.5 fantasy points as well. If you've never played on Monkey Knife Fight, the scoring is as follows. Just so you know, fantasy points are accumulated by 1/10 of a point on laps led. And then if you win the race, you're getting 20 points. Second place, 19, third, 18, all the way down to 20th. You're going to get 1 point. So that is how the fantasy points are determined. Make sure you're using code FOCUSED when you deposit for the first time for that 100% match bonus, or click the link in the description. But should we finish up with a quick Levy bag of donuts? Are we due or what?
Let's do some nuts.
So if you want to go 8 for 8, you get 100x your buy-in.
Easy peasy. Let's do it.
Easy peasy. So you got to go 8 for 8.
And you can only do it once.
Right. But they also have a 6 for 6 for 30x your buy-in, 5 for 5 for 15x your buy-in.
Briscoe's on this one too.
Yeah. What's the catch here? Take the less.
I mean, he doesn't have a starting position. It has to be.
It's a trap.
It's a freebie. They're being nice to us. They want to give us a bag of donuts.
Bucky double pack of tall boys right here.
All right, I like that strategy where we're going with picking a couple of our top 3 or top 5 and like and matching the lineup around it. So Denny and Harvick, I think those are no-brainer bets. Scroll down a little bit more to see where Brad's at.
13.5.
So I think between Brad and Joey, one's going to be more, one's going to be less. I'm leaning more towards Kez, but I'll leave it up to the peanut gallery.
No, I'm with you there.
100% on board with that. I am, I'm not a Slowy Logano fan, and I feel like Kez last
track racing.
Yeah, Kez the Rat is just going to be hanging out in the pack, like in that 5 to 6 range.
4 laps to go, average.
He's in a top 3.
20 all day.
Cheese.
That's it, dude. Just letting it ride back there.
How many blocks of cheese does he have in that wagon when he's driving?
Dude, and then he just dumps all the cheese and picks up his speed. Fucking sandbagging, cheese bagging, son of a gun.
Yeah,
right. All right, so I'm gonna end up putting $10 on this. 10 to win
$1 billion.
1,000.
Billion.
10 to win 1,000. That's awesome. All right, who else we got? We got, this is tough decisions here. We've got.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go more on Denny, 16.5. And I'm going to go more on Harvick, 18.5.
Do you think
both dominate here?
Do you think Busch, Truex, or Blaney will finish in the top 3?
I do not think Blaney will.
Okay, let's go less on Blaine. The Blainster.
Bucky, I know you're a Blaney guy. Do you disagree with this wholeheartedly?
No, I think 15.5 is a high number.
I hate to say this, Bucky, but Blaney would have won if he would have pitted with the pack.
I know.
Yeah, the All-Star race.
Kills me.
He'd have been a rich boy.
So odds are pretty good on Truex and Busch in terms of Vegas. So they like both of these guys. Kyle Busch, he finished second in the All-Star race, right?
Yes, he did. He charged too. But you got to think about this too. This is a different racetrack, different kind of style, different kind of package. One of these two are going to finish in the top 5. It's going to be a matter of a couple of points,
Here we go.
Points.
Here's my train of thought here. Kyle is racing on Saturday at this track, right? Same track.
Yep.
In an Xfinity Series. I know it's different, but I feel like he's got some mojo back. Shout out to his wife's Instagram. I saw his wife and the kid were at the track for the All-Star race. So, he's feeling good. He's getting his mind right. He's got his babe wife supporting him live for races, and his kid, of course. He's racing there Saturday. He's going to get a feel for it.
Yep.
He's going to go fast. He's going to finish more, and Truex is going to finish less.
I'm fine with that.
I'm there with you on that one.
Good reasoning.
That's a big bag.
That's it.
10 to win $1 billion?
That's it. 10 to 1,000.
1,000. Close enough.
That would literally make up for all of my awful plays that I don't follow you guys on for the last 2 months.
Yep.
If you win this, I hope Monkey Knife Fight hand delivers a big, like, fat check. Like,
Yeah.
Right.
One of the mega checks.
like an
Right.
all-star race check.
Yeah, I need that.
Need that in my life. That'd look good right behind your head in the pod.
Oh, yeah, it would. I need to get me a Texas Motor Speedway hat, just like this Darlington hat.
Oh yeah.
Big
All
old
right.
American flag tee.
Oh yeah, there we go. So any last, if anyone out there is playing DraftKings or anything like that, middle of the pack guys that you like, Freeman, I know like Eric Jones historically has finished pretty decent here.
Yep. Eric Jones just seems to be climbing the charts on a lot of middle of the pack kind of value picks. And the no-brainer pick is Eric Almirola. He's going to very quickly lose his value in a lot of these daily fantasy and straight up betting books and just odds making because he's showing that his car can perform as well as his teammates in Harvick. So, he's going to start losing his value. Lock him in as early as you can. Starting on the pole again, I think he's going to have a couple of laps led in him just because, again, we've seen how fast Harvick is starting to overflow into Almirola, and he's showing that he can carry that flag too.
Love it. Bucky, anyone else you got your eye on?
Honestly, I like Eric Jones this week.
All right. I think that's a good guy especially for a cheaper option in terms of DraftKings and
or top 3, top 5 too. It never hurts to throw down a couple bones on that.
Who do y'all have winning?
I think Harvick is the guy here. I know he's the favorite. I hate picking the favorite. I think the individual who has the best shot outside of kind of the traditional chalky winners. I hate to keep riding the Almirola train, but he has the momentum. I think he's someone who's going to get a win in the next few weeks. And if you bet 20 bones on Almirola to win every week over the next 4 weeks, if he wins, you're going to profit, a good penny. So he's someone to look out over the long term.
Yeah, I mean, he's plus 2,000. He's worth a unit, throwing a unit out there. I mean, hey, plus he's from Tampa.
Yeah.
There you go, Florida guy.
Yeah.
Go Bucks, man.
Gorgeous.
I love it. All right. Any last words of wisdom before we sign off here, Freeman?
Break a leg this weekend on the DFS and the Monkey Knife Fights.
Yes, and all you guys tuning in on YouTube every week. We've been going live a lot and all that. Appreciate the support. You guys have been awesome. If you got any questions, hit us up in the comments. Make sure you're following us on social media as well, on Instagram and on Twitter at BackOTPack, and you can also find us at Fantasy Focused. Look forward to seeing you guys soon, and good luck this weekend.
See you guys.
Cheers.